Ron Howard has always prided himself on being the calm center of chaos, a filmmaker who believes in dignity, empathy, and respect. But when confronted with the ugly side of Hollywood's golden age, his calm cracked. What he revealed wasn't stories of fame and glamour. It was a ledger of cruelty, silence, and power used to wreck lives. The same stars who sold dreams on screen often haunted nightmares behind closed doors. Howard resisted naming names for years, but one by one, they emerged. The legends who shaped Hollywood's myth are also among its greatest monsters. And now, decades after the cameras stopped rolling, someone finally spoke their names. Errol Flynn, the Golden Age icon whose charm hid a predator. On screen, he was everything a hero should be: daring, charismatic, seductive. Off-screen, he was a heavy drinker, a womanizer, and accused of statutory rape. In late 1942, two 17-year-old girls, Peggy Satterlee and Betty Hansen, alleged that Flynn took advantage of them, one aboard his yacht, another at a friend's home. The trial was loud, messy, tragic. Life magazine photos, yacht parties, whispered rumors about underage girls, alcohol, drugs. Flynn denied everything. The studio hired top lawyers, friends rallied. A jury acquitted him. But the real verdict came not from the courthouse. It came from the women whose lives he left scarred, and from the way Hollywood kept welcoming him back. Even after the verdict, his behavior spiraled. Drugs, alcohol, risky liaisons. He died in 1959, 50 years old, wealthier in fame than in character. But for Howard, Flynn wasn't just a fallen star. He was a symbol of a system that protected predators as long as they smiled for the camera. Kirk Douglas, the rage in a polished suit. On film, he brought intensity, vulnerability, raw emotion. Off-screen, he admitted himself, "I was born aggressive, and I guess I'll die aggressive." Friends and colleagues echoed it. Scenes of respect, dignity, heroism. Behind them, a man who crushed respect under his anger. Worse still are the chilling allegations tied to his past. According to claims surfacing decades after the fact, Douglas allegedly raped a 16-year-old rising actress, then fled the scene, leaving trauma hidden in whispers. For Howard, the lesson wasn't about talent, it was about power. How someone could shine so brightly on screen and cast such a dark shadow off it. And in Hollywood's silence, that shadow grew longer. Faye Dunaway, brilliance wrapped in cold, calculating cruelty. On screen, she glowed, fierce, beautiful, undeniable. But off-screen, she became notorious for tyranny. On the set of Chinatown, she and the director Roman Polanski clashed so violently that what should have been art became a battlefield. Polanski was autocratic, domineering, but Dunaway met control with cruelty. She reportedly responded to being denied a bathroom break by hurling a cup of urine in his face. Her reputation spread: difficult, unmanageable, volatile. Colleagues later claimed she treated crew like disposable props. For Howard, Dunaway wasn't just a diva. She was proof that evil in Hollywood didn't always come with violence. Sometimes it came with humiliation, ego, and the quiet destruction of people's dignity. Roman Polanski, genius, but at what cost? The director, whose films many call masterpieces, also carries one of the darkest stains in Hollywood. In 1977, Polanski was charged with drugging and raping a 13-year-old girl, Samantha Geimer, after a photo shoot at a friend's house. The case exploded. Charges of rape, drugging, perversion, lewd acts. Under pressure, Polanski accepted a plea deal admitting to unlawful sexual intercourse with a minor. He served 42 days, then fled the United States. Decades later, with every award and trophy, a specter haunted the applause. A girl robbed of innocence, a justice system twisted by fame and art. For Howard, this wasn't just horror, it was hypocrisy. Talent used as shield, a world where brilliance excuses brutality. Mickey Rooney, the smirk turned mask. Once the beloved child star whose laughter lit up screens, Rooney's legacy ended in scandal, addiction, broken marriages, regret. Behind his early fame lay alleged cruelty on set. Some accounts claim he used casting couch tactics, hungry for young talent he could exploit. 8 failed marriages, financial ruin, substance abuse. Yet the industry kept him alive long after the magic died. For Howard, Rooney represented the cruel trick Hollywood plays, the smiling star who destroys lives, then fades away, while the myth survives. These aren't horror stories from fiction. These are real people, real accusations, real victims. And what Howard exposed isn't just a list of scandals. It's a pattern. Ambition, fame, money, power. Hollywood's golden age promised dreams. Instead, it gave silence, abuse, and a system that rewarded cruelty if you could sell tickets. You may love their films, you may remember their lines, but maybe now you'll remember the trail they left behind. Which name hit you the hardest? The man who smiled while destroying lives, the tyrant hiding behind charm, or the monster we still clap for? Let me know, and stay vigilant. Because the real horror is not fiction. It's the spotlight we never question. Ron Howard always spoke of Hollywood as a world of light and shadow, a place where dreams were sold and illusions maintained, but he never ignored the darkness behind the glamour. As he reflected on the golden age, he realized that the stars who captivated audiences often hid behaviors so vile that the industry's very machinery worked to cover them up. Faye Dunaway embodied a colder, more calculated cruelty. Magnetic and beautiful, her talent inspired awe. But behind the camera, she reportedly tormented crew members, humiliated assistants, and demanded obedience through intimidation. On films like Chinatown, her clashes with directors became legendary. Howard recognized in Dunaway that cruelty need not be violent to be devastating. Control, perfectionism, and ego can be just as destructive, leaving emotional scars that outlast physical harm. Appearances mattered more than reality, charm more than compassion, and a career could survive while lives were quietly ruined. Taken together, these 6 figures reveal a pattern that haunted Ron Howard's understanding of the era. Fame, power, and talent were often accompanied by silence, exploitation, and a moral vacuum protected by the very system that elevated them. These stories were never meant to titillate or condemn for the sake of gossip. They were warnings, a caution that the brightest lights often cast the darkest shadows, that charm and genius do not guarantee virtue, and that a culture that rewards talent at any cost perpetuates harm. Hollywood's golden age may shine in history books and on film reels, but Howard's reflections remind us to look beyond the glitter, to acknowledge the victims, and to see the true cost of a system that forgave cruelty as long as it sold tickets. Which of these 6 shocked you the most? The predator, the tyrant, the cold manipulator, or the smiling deceiver? Howard's message remains clear. The real monsters of Hollywood were often the ones protected by the spotlight, and remembering them in full is the only way to confront the truths behind the legend. Hollywood's golden age hid monsters behind fame, charm, and talent.